I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. This is Funny Like Clown Podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Wirth. What do we got? What do we got? May. Wow, it's May 2nd already. I confused myself with the date. That's how on top of things I am. May 2nd, 2022. This episode 145. I know I haven't been with you guys for a while here. I've been busy, but I'm on vacation this week, and I usually do a weekly podcast. I'm hoping to kick out one podcast today for like 7-8 days straight here, and we'll see how that works out. That's my hope. I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but try to catch up and keep things moving right along here at a great pace, because I got other projects I want to do, but I want to give the podcast the proper attention because I started it. Damn it, I'll finish it because that's what I do. We'll be talking about a legendary comedian today. Certainly, Mr. Bernie Mac, and from a tough childhood to an established career. So, shows no matter how rough you got it as a kid, you can always turn your life around and do something great. And, well, not so much turn your life around, but no matter how rough of upbringing you had, you can always turn into something better, turn into something good. You don't have to be stuck in that lifestyle if you don't want to be. Let's see. Today's episode is brought to you by G Vegas Buffalo Sauce for the spicy, sweet, savory taste of game time. There's only one G Vegas available. www.gvegas.webs.com. Go there, get it shipped right to your door, and put the Whamma Jamma in your mouth. That's what happens, man. You take a bite of G Vegas Buffalo Sauce on a chicken wing, and Whamma Jamma. That's what you get. The Whamma Jamma in your mouth. We got a commercial coming out. That's the new slogan, okay? So we're going new slogan, Whamma Jamma. That's the new G Vegas Buffalo Sauce slogan. And we're going to have you guys walking around telling all your friends, Whamma Jamma. And then they're going to know you're talking about G Vegas Buffalo Sauce. That's how a good slogan starts out right there, Man, let's see. Bernie Mac, man, born and raised on Chicago's South Side, and you ever seen the movies, that's a pretty rough part of town right there, man. So, hey, he survived, right? People survived down there. I guess he's best known for joining Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and D.L. Hewley in the original Kings of Comedy. That was like a huge, huge tour where each one of those guys went on to do big things after that tour. Briefly hosted HBO's Midnight Mac. Let's see. Had a bunch of smaller roles in film. His most notable one was in Ocean's 11, which I did see, and I do remember him from. Let's see. Had the Bernie Mac Show on Fox TV, which was a sitcom that lasted 5 seasons for him. Other than Ocean's 11, some you may or may not remember him from. Let's see. Old Dogs, Madagascar 2, Mo Money, Booty Call, Friday, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, Bad Santa, BAPS Life, The Players Club, Head of State, Guess Who, Pride, Soul Man, and Transformers. So, guess the one that stayed. Charlie's Angels, I think I might remember seeing him in there. Transformers, I know it's a popular series. I didn't see him in there, but a lot of smaller movies too, man. Guy kept busy, that's for sure. He wasn't sitting home looking for work. He was out doing some smack right there, man, getting the job done in comedy, and that's what it's all about. Let's see. His mom passed away when he was only 16 years old, so I can't imagine not having dad around and your mom passing away at 16. That's an age where that could mess your head right on up, I guess, yeah. So I guess he moved to Florida to go to high school for a little while. Then he went back to Chicago and graduated there. Took on some odd jobs, which shows you as biggest star as Bernie Mac was. Everybody thinks you start out a star, So no, other people be stars. I can't be. These stars they started out just like me and you doing regular jobs. So these are some of the odd jobs he had after high school. He was a janitor. He was a bus driver. He was a cook. He was a delivery man. So if you think all these big stars start out, that way, no, they started out regular people just like me and you who had a dream, baby. Follow your dreams. That's what it's all about. He did all these jobs during the week. Well, he did stand-up comedy on the weekends. So he was a weekend comic at first. Said he was influenced by the Three Stooges, Richard Pryor, and Red Fox, which remember, yeah, Red Fox, he was like the original dirty comic, and then Richard Pryor, he brought a more mainstream thing where it was acceptable to do dirty comedy like that. And who don't love the Three Stooges? Come on, that's an all-time slapstick comedy. They're what do they call it? Timeless comedy right there. The Three Stooges. At age 32 years old, so I mean, you think you got to make it in your 20s, which it is. As you get older, it's tough to make it in comedy because nobody's looking for the older comic; they're looking for the young up and coming comic. But it took this guy till he was age 32. He finally won the Miller Lite Comedy Search, and that got his name out there. His popularity began to grow after that. Once he get noticed, really got noticed. That earned him a spot on HBO's Def Comedy Jam, where. Now, have you seen Def Comedy Jam? I remember it. It's like this wire cage, and it's a really rowdy crowd. It's like a really, and I guess Martin Lawrence was on, and he couldn't tame the crowd. They were just giving him crap left and right. He couldn't do nothing with him. Didn't know how to get out of it. Then Mac took the stage, and he famously said, "I ain't scared of you motherfuckers." And that's what I let off the podcast with tonight, though. That was where the reference was from. And he really took control of the crowd. And, him being able to control the crowd where other comics couldn't really launched him into the spotlight like that. Remember Bill Burr did that. He was, I forget, somewhere, and crowd was going off, and he just went on this 5-minute rant. He was just lighting into this crowd. "No, this is what you wanted," he said, and I got 4 minutes. He sort of let into him some more. I got 3 minutes, let into some more, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and it went down as one of the greatest sets of all time because he handled the crowd where most people couldn't. You never know what's going to make you famous in this business. Open for such acts as Dionne Warwick, Red Fox, and Natalie Cole. So that must have been cool. If one of your comedy idols that made you want to try comedy was Red Fox, then you get to open for him. That had to be a moment. Sam Kinison was the reason I got into comedy, and he's passed away. I could never open for him, but I did get to open for his opener and best friend, Mr. Carl LeBove. So that was really cool. I guess I had one dream left, probably be, I was also into dirty comedy in the 80s and stuff. So I guess probably Andrew Dice Clay. I'd love to open for him someday, but that may or may not happen. We were looking into booking that guy, and he don't work cheap, come to find out. Maybe you want to mortgage your house, you can book Dice, other than that, who knows, but it's a lot of money. Let's see, had a smaller role in House Party 3, did some movies with Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta, and Robin Williams. So, I mean, these are some big names in the business this guy's working with right here. So, shows you how big his popularity got at one point. Let's see, for the Fox sitcom show called The Bernie Mac Show after himself, he played a version of himself who got custody of his sister's kids when she went to therapy, to rehab. And I guess the show was noted for breaking ground for promoting human dignity because, even if somebody's in rehab, it doesn't make them a bad person. It's a person who made some bad choices that needs help. And certainly my best friend, man, he was a bad alcoholic, and he got help and cut help, couldn't beat it, and ended up taking his own life. So I've seen firsthand how mean of a disease that can be right there. So, you got to keep your dignity though, man. You got to treat these people the same, and understand what they're going through. And try to give them support, and looking back, I wish I had given them, you can only, they see that's the problem. There is a fine line between support and them people take advantage of you. So it's a fine line, and just, if you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about. It's a difficult situation, but he showed this, how to treat people who have problems with dignity in this show. And let's see, for that, I guess he got ranked on TV Guide's 50 greatest dads of all time. He's number 47. So just to be on this list, I mean, Leave It to Beaver. I remember his dad was on there. Cosby, before his trouble, he was TV's dad. Good Times, the dad from there. James, what's his face there? And, and all the TV dads of all time. There's been a lot of shows with TV dads, man. So just to be on the top 50 list, that's really saying something with this guy's career, man. So congratulations to him. We mentioned all the movies that he did, which was a really, really long list of movies that he did. And I guess he announced on the David Letterman show on the Late Show with David Letterman, I guess properly said, that he was going to retire from his career after 30 years in the business. And he said he wanted to enjoy what little life he had left. And he realized that he missed out on a lot of things, which, they say that, it's like you try so hard in comedy, and when you finally get it and you're on the road, and I've heard this from a lot of comics, you hit spot to spot, you think, yes, man, this is it. This is everything I worked for. And finally the dream come true. But you get burnt out after you do it for so long. It's like you realize, hey, man, if I died out here on the road doing comedy, or anybody even notice, anybody back home even come to bury me or what, so it can burn you out too, so you work so hard to get it. Then once you get there, it's not always what you thought it was cracked up to be. I remember Richie Sambora, the guitar player from Bon Jovi, he ended up quitting the band. And it's like, how could you quit one of the biggest bands of all time? And I guess he told the magazine, he said, I realized how lucky I was to be in Bon Jovi and to fulfill my dream of being a guitar player and musician. And I was lucky as guy in the world to be one of the biggest bands of all time. But after a while, you look back and you realize on what you missed out on. You miss out on like the everyday stuff that other people just take for granted, because that's our life. When you're touring on the road, 364 days out of 365 in a year, man, that's your whole life is touring. You're not doing birthday parties with the families. You're not getting to know, quality time with friends and family. You're missing out on all of the regular everyday stuff that normal people do. Remember they said that about Michael Jackson too. They said, he used to have this guy's like a grown man and he's having sleepover parties at his mansion there with little kids. He's like, what is this guy, a weirdo or something? But I guess his father turned him into a star at such a young age where he missed out on that. He never had sleepovers with his friends as a kid. So he was trying to relive it later on in his life. And, you could question every which way to Tuesday, how far it went with all the media and stuff. But, that's the life. You miss out on the normal life when you want to be a big star and you think it's the greatest thing, but when you are the big star, you realize you miss out on the normal life other people led. So that's the tough part of the business right there. After a legendary career, 2004, he was having some health problems. He had caught pneumonia in both lungs, which I've had pneumonia, and that's like one mean disease right there. I'll tell you, I was coughing up some stuff forever. And wasn't properly diagnosed, because they should have went down. They should have gave me some antibodies or whatever, get it out of there. But I ended up coughing most of it out. But after I did, man, once you've had pneumonia, that makes you like easily susceptible to get it again once you've had it once. And I remember I just got every year, man, flu season came around, I was down for like a week in bed, just coughing up my lungs. Finally, I said I got sick of this, and some people are for, some people are against the flu shot, but I do. I get a flu shot every year, and I haven't been sick a flu season yet. That's me knocking on wood right there, but who knows? Maybe when I'm 60, I'll grow a third eyeball or something. But hey, how much life do I got left at 60? I got a third eyeball from the whatever they put in that stuff. Who knows? But it's a personal choice, I guess. It's better than lying in bed coughing up my lungs a week every year. I can tell you that much. Let's see. He also suffered from exhaustion because you're constantly on the road. You're constantly taking planes. You're taking buses. It's this arena, that arena, the TV show, fly here, fly there. It catches. And we talked about some podcasts where you got to be in great shape. That's why a lot of comics turn to drugs in the comedy world, just to keep them going, because the schedule is so demanding. Your body can't keep up with it. 2005's he had a lung disease that went into remission. The disease started to attack his lungs, and August 9th of 2008, he finally passed away from complications of pneumonia. And just goes to show you, showing up on Chicago's tough side of town, mom dying at 16. This guy had every excuse in the world to turn to a bad life. But, instead of doing that, he led a straight life and turned into one of the greatest comics of all time. So, they always say that no matter how bad off you got it in life, there's always somebody out there who's got it worse. And it's a very true statement. I guess after he passed away, influenced by his friend Steve Harvey, who really went to bat for him, Chicago mayor proclaimed in Chicago November 14th is Bernie Mac Day. So if you're in Chicago, it's November 14th. You're in Chicago for Bernie Mac Day, baby, right there. And I guess if you live there, you're proud of the guy that Chicago kicked out. So either way, you got it going on right there. How good was this guy in comedy? Comedy's been around for a long time, folks. Okay, I'm talking going back to when we had kings and queens and we had jesters who entertained them. Okay, that was the comedy, the jester, where you either made the king laugh, you got your head cut off. Okay, so you had to be funny. But this guy was like so good in a comedy of all time. Rolling Stone put him down as the number 41 greatest comedian of all time, and Comedy Central honored him at number 72 greatest comedian of all time. So, I mean, if you're on the top 100 comedians of all time on any list, you're doing damn good right there, man, because been a whole lot of comics out there. Comic became what the 80s was one of the biggest things of all time, and making a big comeback now, man. I'll tell you, there's so many comics out there coming up. The Amy Schumers, the Whitney Cummings, the Bill Burrs, the Louis C.K.'s, and man, there's a whole new generation taking over. And what a great generation it is to be a comedian, I guess, right? But yeah, man, Bernie Mac, one of the original kings of comedy, and legendary career, and hopefully, you can have a legendary career in whatever you choose to do. Because if you're a woodworker, then be the best damn woodworker you can be. Or if you work at a grocery store, ringing up the cash register, then you be the best damn cashier that you can be. Whatever you do in life, don't be ashamed. Be proud, man. That's what we're talking about, dignity, and that's what Bernie Mac had, and certainly spread the word that everybody should be treated with dignity. That's a great thing. So tomorrow when you go to work, you treat everybody with dignity, and hopefully it rubs off on them, and everybody gets treated with dignity, and the world's a better place. Hey, that's what we do here, man. We try to keep things positive. Funny Like Clown podcast. We're exploring the history of comedy, and what a great history Mr. Bernie Mac had. And hopefully we're going to see it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, for 8 days straight with a podcast. We'll see how it goes. Till then, keep laughing, babe, because laughter is the best medicine. Good night.